Today's video guys will be discussing this group, the Jerusalem group in Venda. As guys you might have seen a lot of people guys, there's these 19, is it Makonda 19, Makado 19 that is busy happening in Limpopo guys, especially in Venda. So a lot of people have been saying now we know how Venda people get their money to build all these machines, all these big houses, all this luxurious life. We know how. So in today's video guys we'll be discussing, is it the gangster way or is it the lenient way, or do they have businesses, or do they rob heist? So in today's video guys we'll be discussing how do the vendors make their own money, but not especially the vendors. We'll be discussing about this group called Jerusalem. If you don't know this group called Jerusalem gang, unfortunately or allegedly they say this Jerusalem group, it is over with it. They say there's no more members of the Jerusalem gang. So in today's video guys we'll be discussing mostly Jerusalem gang and whether it's true or not vendors get their money from robbing heist. I can say guys, let's start. Yes sir. Right now guys we're gonna start with the leader guys, which is called Arnold Modau. So he was the leader of this group called the Jerusalem gang. He was also known as the Soldier Lion of Judah. Soldier Lion of Judah. If you have never seen him, you might have seen him because on the TikTok internet most of the time he's wearing the camouflage, but unfortunately he died. So let's explain his story. So the group is said to have been one of the biggest gangs in Limpopo province and have to been involved extensively criminal activities, including drug trafficking and robberies, which is most of the time it is the heist, CIT heist or cash in transit heist. Modau was regarded as his fellow gang as a powerful member. So this is the starter of the Jerusalem gang. He was known for his courage, loyalty and power, earning the moniker Lion of Judah for his fleas demoniac. The members of the Jerusalem gang look up to him as their true leader, So Arnold Modau, he was the co-owner of the Jerusalem restaurant and a pub in Toronto. Also owned 2 liquor outlets in Chakuma and a beautiful camouflage roof house along the R24, including a fleet of carriage high-speed vehicles. You might have seen some of his vehicles or some of the Jerusalem vehicles covered in the camouflage, especially the brown camouflage. So how did the Jerusalem gang end? This is how it began. It began with the death of Arnold Modau, which the person we are talking about. His life was tragically cut short in a car accident, shocked the community and sent ripples of the grief through the gang. This is how he died. He survived the car crash while returning home from his tavern and was said to be in the company of another passenger in his car when a fatal accident occurred on a 524 road in Chakuma, Limpopo on February 5th, 2022. When the nearby residents arrived, they found the car damaged beyond repair. It was towed away. The occupants Modau and a friend were rushed to NAC hospital in Limpopo. Modau was pronounced dead on the arrival, while his friend survived and sustained critical injuries. People who knew him were filled with sadness and grief as the news of his demise began to spread. Respect and tributes were paid to the deceased gang leader, who was remembered as a source of courage and fortitude in his community. Now guys, let's get into the second member that suffered the severe I can say a severe death. This is the deceased. Just 10 months ago, the gang suffered another severe blow when one of its members, Naledzani Muaye, was found brutally murdered and wrapped in a plastic, his body bearing a horrifying 28 bullet wounds. Imagine 28 bullet wounds. Not 3, not 7, not 16, not 50-cent bullet wounds. This is 28 bullet wounds. Definitely he was not gonna survive. On a mountain at Chidzivi village. The gruesome incident fueled fears on escalating violence in the region and left residents wondering when the cycle of brutality would end. Because right now it was the end, they were going to end Jerusalem gang, no matter how. If it was a person, if it was John Wick, if it was Schwarzenegger, he was definitely going to end. He was not making it up. He was tired of this Jerusalem gang. 28 bullet wounds. Those are bullet wounds. The Jerusalem gang, known for its involvement in various elitist activities, had a strong roots in Venda and neighbors areas. So right now, guys, let's get into the third member, in which, guys, I thought this was the leader because this guy is so scary. But remember, in movies, the big guys don't become bosses. It's always the smaller guys, like Arnold. Arnold, I can say that guy, from looking at that guy, he was sweet, but he. But right now, guys, let's get into the Jerusalem gang, the prominent member who lost his life, the deceased, who was called Dollar. Dollar was shot and killed yesterday, in which, guys, this news, it was 2 months ago. Dollar, whose real name was not disclosed, was a significant figure within a gang, and his death has left many wondering what lies ahead of the remaining members. Is the gang still existing? Is the Jerusalem gang still existing? How many are they gonna die? We don't know. Alexander murder, which was the guy who was murdered with 8 bullets, which occurred in a manner so brutal and horrifying, was a clear indication of the escalating violence in the region. The police have been investigating the gang activities for years, but recent spate of deaths has intensified their efforts to dismantle the criminal organization once and for all. In the wake of Dollar killings, fear and unease have gripped the region. Many residents have expressed concerns about their safety and future of the community. The rise of criminal activity has prompted calls for stricter measures to be taken against those involved in such a violent act. Looks like also, guys, the Mercado members, they might be part of the Jerusalem gang, The death of Dollar, Arnold Mudau, and Alexander Moaye serve as a reminder of the devastating consequences of violence and far-reaching impact it can have on families, community, and society at large. As the investigation into Dollar's death unfolds, authorities are hopeful that they will be able to piece together the puzzle and apprehend those responsible. Meanwhile, the community is left to mourn yet another loss, grappling with the question of when the violence will finally end. Will the violence finally end? We don't know. But it looks like, guys, those who are involved in Macandos, they might be part of the Jerusalem gang, because the Jerusalem gang in Venda was the biggest gang. So, like, I don't know which type of gang in the Bombo, type of gang in Cape Town, type of gang in here, how they live. But I know the difference is that here is Gauteng, the type of gang is that they are not gangs. Here they are individuals. So here most of the time, if you have gangs, they are just individuals, they are independent. But in Cape Town, they are not independent. There's a leader then who controls all the gangs. Whenever you steal something, you must bring it in to the leader. So that is how the gangs in Cape Town operate. But here in Gauteng, it is independent. They don't have the gang. The gangs might be there, but they're independent. But I wonder whether Macandos members, they belong here to the Jerusalem gang, as they are apprehended as some of the people will appear in court, and the 19 ones, they're already deceased. But as we have seen, guys, they've killed one of the prominent members. Once you target the upper echelon one, not to target the head, not the tail, it is difficult for the tail to just move. So what I'm saying is they targeted for the prominent ones, the prominent gangs, for the boss ones, who are, I can say, they are the heads. But the tail, how many of them they have left, we don't know. And also, because these people in the property have big houses, are these houses built out of this money, out of this crime money? The answer is, I don't have the answer. But right now I can say, most of the people, they have farms, they have Rishumela Ayani, they have this system called Rishumela Ayani. It might be part of the Rishumela Ayani, where we work for the home here, we just live in a shed, but we live in big houses when we go home. So it might be part, they might be part of that, but those houses, I can say, they take a good architects. Those are 10 million houses that you can see, you know what I'm saying, that you can point. But are they? I don't have the answers. But these people are all over the internet, TikTok, you'll be seeing there. And I can say the Jerusalem gang, I can say it has ended. But is it though? Catch you guys in the next video. Yes sir.